Today, our show is going to be digging deeper into all of these three people, Jeff Sinclair, Evelyn Hoffman, and Tina Magnuson, and getting their real in-depth feelings about how it is to live and work in the theater in Laguna Woods. And we have two who've done quite a lot, and we have one who just started. So we think that it will help you to understand that it can be done regardless of your experience level, and that we want you to feel comfortable trying it. Tell us, Jeff, how do you feel about this whole process of being an actor?
Well, I had kind of a rough childhood, and constantly battles going on between my parents, and just an identity issue with who I was in terms of, whether I would belong to that family, frankly, and discovered later that I didn't. I wasn't, biological son of the guy I thought was my father. So I think all of that probably created a desire to escape of this person who I was, or I thought I was. So from the earliest times of my childhood, I could remember wanting to be an actor, because I felt like, I could be different people. And I remember one of my very first girlfriends in high school, in fact, she ended up being my wife. Her mom had asked me when we first started dating, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, well, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a president, I want to be, a senator, I want to be all these things. And I said that the only way in which I feel like I can be all of those things is to be an actor. And of course, she wasn't really thrilled with that answer.
I can relate to some degree to what you've talked about, but let's talk even deeper about how you feel now that you're here in Laguna Woods and you're doing a lot of acting. What does it feel like, both on stage and off stage, and prepping for a show?
Well, of course, it depends on what kind of show it is. Like, for example, if it's a musical, that's always kind of fun. There's not a whole lot of depth to the characters in that. I've done a couple of dramatic roles, one with Mary Zolli on The Friend Zone, of course, Free Radicals, that was directed by Jeannie Sanner, co-starring Benji Johnson, of course, and those were some really fun roles, because you get an opportunity as an actor to really dig into some of the darker sides of who you are.
How did you get to that? How did you get to that? Because I remember the darker side. How did you get there?
I think you just have to think about things that hurt you throughout your life, or whether it was a relationship, or whether it was, something that a parent had said to you, or in my case, when I was younger, going back to that, my ears protruded just really profusely, and so I looked like was it Newman on that
Alfred E. Newman
Mad Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me a huge insecurity, and I was only able to get them surgically fixed, if you will, in 1996, after I was 40 some odd years old. So an entire life of teasing from kids can be so cruel. An entire life of teasing from kids, that creates pain. And so when you are playing a role of someone who is deeply disturbed, perhaps like in Free Radicals, a murderer in that case, when you're playing someone that is confused about who they are in their role as that character, I think that you go back and draw upon the pain that you have personally experienced in your life to create that frustration and that anger. And I think that's where I went with Free Radicals, and it played off pretty well.
And even knowing you, it was really scary. It was scary, which was good. I mean, it made me afraid of you, and I thought that, and I know the audience felt it too.
Well, you should be afraid of me, Sam.
Oh, yeah. And what about when you do the happier things like the musicals? What's the other side of that? How does that happen?
Those are just, I do them for fun. Again, the characters in musicals are never very deep. It's all superficial, and I like doing the more dramatic stuff. I've done some dramatic stuff in Hollywood, which is really great. I was able to do the only nude film I've ever done, which was pretty interesting. in Salt Lake City, where I actually played the role of a rapist this was a documentary type art piece, and the rapist, due to his his conviction and the terms of his release, he could not be seen on film. He certainly could not be seen nude, so they asked for a body double. And so for the very first time I had an opportunity to get filmed nude on stage, which was very interesting and very, very deep as well.
Okay, let's talk even a little deeper, if you don't mind. How about what this has done for your life, this acting gig that you've been doing both professionally and as an amateur? How does it really affect you, and how do you think it affects you and other people around you?
I think that based on my childhood, based on the roughness of the relationship I had with my parents, my siblings, based on the teasing that I endured my entire adolescence, I developed a real insecurity about who I was as a person, who I am as a person. And being able to act, being able to play different roles, being able to discover that aspect of who I am and this aspect of who I am, developing characters, has really allowed me to, in this community and also in Hollywood, just get accolades for the work that I've done. And that has been a tremendous influence in my ego, frankly, and
which is
my
fine.
Confidence in who I am as a person. I walk around the Village, and I also am a lead singer in one of the better bands here at the Village, and I walk around the Village or go to the pool and people are saying, "Oh my God, I really enjoyed your show, and I really enjoyed your singing and all that kind of stuff." And it just really has allowed me to understand that I truly am a really good person.
And the interesting part of that is that you're very generous with others when you're in a show. I've noticed that. And that's sometimes not easy because you get your own ego going to a level that, you forget about the others. But you're not that way. And why do you think you are that way?
I love people. I genuinely love people. My entire life I have always looked for the good in people, and I don't like bullies, perhaps because I was bullied and teased and all that kind of stuff. So I always try to reach out and try to make someone feel better. In fact, that's kind of, what I'm known as here. It's someone that just, whenever you're around me, you feel better about yourself, and I love that.
Tell us what you would do to give advice to people who really want to be on stage and would like to be the lead, to be the star of the show.
Well, I think that there's a little bit of that in everybody. I think everybody likes to be loved, everybody likes to be admired, everybody likes to be adored. And so I think if that's you, if that's what you have inside you, it's never too late. You got to go for it. I just turned 62. I got involved in acting after I lived a married life for 15 years, raised 4 children, got divorced, and that's when I pursued my acting career at like 55 or 6. So it's never too late. If you have that desire, even an inkling of that desire, come on out, try it. Get to the Theater Guild meetings, get involved, meet people, go out for auditions. We need people. So come on out. I'll help you out.
How do you feel actually inside after having this experience of living here, acting here, and interfacing with all these people?
Well, I feel so much joy and so much happiness and so much love. I feel so much better about who I am as a human. I've recently fallen in love, not only with myself, but with an amazing person as well. And I didn't want to live very much longer about a year ago. And now I want to live to 150.
Thank you so much. I love all that you shared with us, and hopefully others will be inspired.
Hopefully. Thank you, Sandy.
Now we're going to talk to Tina Magnuson, who played Betty Boop in Chasing Dreams, the famous comic character. Tina, tell us about how you felt doing this project and playing this character.
Sandy, it was so much fun turning into someone else, just getting out of my own skin and being able to just embody a character. So I had to do some research and do a lot of mirror practicing so I could see, how does that look? How does that feel? And the more you put your costume on and the more you put your makeup on, all of a sudden you are turning into the character. I was all of a sudden Betty Boop.
How did you feel before that as far as being any kind of an actor?
I was so shy. I had no desire, maybe that wasn't the right word, but I just couldn't see myself going out there, being another character. I was just so shy, didn't want anyone to think of, oh, how was Tina laughing? How is she smiling? How is she? I was very self-conscious.
What changed it?
Just the people around me saying, you are doing a great job. You can do it. Just encouragement.
So how did it feel to get all that attention?
It was very exciting to have people coming up to me saying, Betty Boop, oh, you are so cute. You look great. You look just like her, when you're not sure whether you really do look like that character.
And then what happened when you started to perform at the promotions and things we did, and then when we were actually in the show? What happened then?
It was really exciting to have people coming up to me and saying, oh, I saw you at 19, or I saw you at the dance. I've seen you. Oh, you're just great. You're doing a good job, especially after the show. And people waving, people calling out, Betty Boop, how are you?
That had to be so much fun. What did that do for your feelings about doing this again and in the future?
After I was saying, there is just no way I could do that, I can do that.
That's what's exciting.
Yes.
How did you feel with all those accolades?
I felt so proud of myself. I
There you go.
felt so excited. I really felt I was 10 feet tall instead of 5 feet tall.
What did you think about the future of doing more of this great feeling that you got?
The future looks bright. It looks as if there is something I would love to do, just continue doing. It's a lot of fun. It isn't as scary as I thought it would be.
Do you feel even better about yourself, not only that you're prettier, that you're more exciting, that you're more fun?
Absolutely. I do. When people come up to you and say, oh, you look so beautiful, and that you played that character great. So I just feel so much better about myself.
So you're almost like a little movie star here in Laguna Woods.
Absolutely. I am. That's the way I feel.
And that feels, how does that feel?
It feels great. You do stand taller. You do have a bigger smile. You do have that contact with people when they smile at you and you give them that big smile back. And just saying, they look at you, recognize you. Recognition. Unbelievable. You're just actually someone in the village, not just another person.
Oh, that's so true. And it's so interesting because you thought you didn't want that. You thought you didn't want that.
That's right.
But
I didn't think I wanted that. But once you do have that recognition, you can't help but want more and want it all the time.
And then you didn't get it just from your close friends. You got it from a whole community of people.
Yes.
Did that make you feel even better about everything?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Just to know that you have a lot of recognition, and that when people will pass you by or they'll see you, they'll wave, Betty Boop. And it's just makes you smile, makes you feel great inside.
Thank you. That's wonderful. That's it for now, but I hope you enjoyed this show because I certainly did. I know these people and I learned a lot today because we did dig deeper. So we hope that you'll do that too, that you'll think about, gee, I saw these people and I think I can do this too. And all you need to do is come to a Theater Guild meeting. It's the third Thursday of every month at Clubhouse 7. We open the doors at 6:30, and when we open those doors, we have something to give to you, and if you want to receive it, you'll find yourself giving it back.